What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. Today we're doing another one of these tier list style videos, and this one is pertaining to the brand new game mode that's coming, being the Pirate King Adventures. And this is kind of important for not only just newer players, but also returning players and kind of people who are in that mid-game level, you know, players that haven't particularly picked up all of these units. This is going to be important to know. There's a lot of interesting units in here that I think a lot of people are going to want to know whether or not they're worth investing. Now, at this current point in time, I'm recording the video on the 1st of May, so we don't really know how easy these green tickets are to acquire in order to purchase these units from the shop, the exchange shop for Pirate King Adventures. But we do know that the units in that shop are going to be pretty useful, so that's what this whole video is about, to talk about which of these units is actually worth picking up. Couple things first, shout out to TheLordShiro for putting this together for me so we could actually discuss it with you guys. I'll leave a link to this tier list down below in the description. And another thing is, why do I have these units here? Now, the main reason why I say do not purchase these units is because you can just farm these units on the event island currently right now. As of the 1st of May, these characters are still available and you can farm them up. There are still a couple of other characters that you can farm for on the event island, but it does require you to have recollection tomes for the recollection archive. And if you're a new player, you're not actually going to be able to get any of them, which is really bad because I believe they have removed them from the login rewards. But characters like the Brook, and I think there's the Int Big Mom and stuff like that. The Int Big Mom, I think Don Chinjiao as well. There are actually a couple of these units that you can farm for in the recollection archive, but for newer players, those players are not going to be able to get them. So I would say, just as a broad statement, these specific Sai, Straw Hat, Zoro, Sanji, Robin, and Brook, you can actually farm them on the event island. So make sure to go ahead and do that, get them to level limit break 5, because these units look like they'll probably get a buff in the future, because we saw that the new Luffy has received a lot of buffs, and also there is the new Jinbei that we have received as well, and that unit also does have a level limit break, so it's interesting to note. So let's go ahead and get into it. First of all, we have Ambush Whitebeard. He's just a bad unit, do not even worry about it. I think Shanks is probably niche, but he's pretty bad. His utility, he removes a bit of paralysis, he makes some slots matching, and is an orb booster. He's just very, very outdated. Cavendish is also really bad. I think that Garp is a very good pickup. He's almost worthwhile, but I think he's a good pickup. He just with a unique special of health cut, defense reduction, but the big thing is if the enemy's below 20%, 25% HP, you instantly defeat them, and sometimes it's going to be useful to help you deal with enemies that revive and stuff like that. Sengoku is niche, doesn't really see a lot of play, but he's niche. Ambush Linlin, I would say she's probably a must purchase. Like, I don't know, she's probably a must purchase, let's be real here. The attack boosting effect of her special is like actually the least important component. The best part is the utility that you get. 6 turns of Bind Despair and attack down, and then you also get some recovery slots too. Ambush Linlin is phenomenal, really good. Speaking of really good, Monkey D. Luffy I would say is the #1 character that people should be looking at maxing out. Maybe not if you're an endgame player or you're a mid-level player that already has like a really good stacked account. Luffy might not be a priority for you. However, if you are a new player or a returning player that doesn't have a lot going on in the character box, maxing out that Luffy will help you out tremendously. Such a good captain, and then his special gets a very significant buff when you get it to level limit break 5. And I would say if you are a new player into this game, getting him to level limit break 5 is a pretty high priority. So now for the rest of this list, I'm going to talk to you guys in the perspective of a person that has been able to acquire all of these characters on release, and me telling you whether or not I've actually ever used them, because there's a lot of characters in here that honestly I have never even touched. So this Nami, I think she's like niche. She's okay, but then again, with level limit break, these characters could become infinitely more valuable. So I guess as time progresses, we may update this list as things go on. Maybe sometime next year, we'll have to wait and see. Usopp, I don't ever remember using. I don't ever remember using this chopper. I think Frankie actually had some pretty cool uses. I believe he's like color affinity and removes defensive effects. I think it's like a % damage reduction effect. This Drake, like basically never sees play. This Brook never sees play. This Cracker, he sees some niche usages. He has double special launch. It has a very interesting special. Don Chinjiao, I would say, isn't worth picking up. I don't like this Big Mom. Some people like this unit. She's got a really meme special, but Honestly speaking, I don't think she's that good. Then you got this Garp. I think Garp is actually a worthwhile pickup. The thing about him is that he's very good for one of the Grand Voyages versus Alvida. So if you're looking to, take the next step and try and take on some of these Grand Voyages, this Garp is super good for that. But I think in normal content, he actually doesn't see a lot of play. I think Sengoku is okay. He does have a really cool special of removing Rainbow Shield, but then he has a weird special where, like, if you have a certain slot, you get Chain Boundary. These two characters work really well together on a team, but there aren't too many situations where you're going to be actively doing that. I think Jack is actually really good, and I believe this Jack is one of the characters that you can farm for on Event Island with a Recollection Archive Tome. So, take that as you will. But this Jack has a great special, and he actually has a really good support too. So keep that in mind, but he's got a really good special. This unit is interesting. The Oni Wabanshu, I would say this is only worth picking up if you actually have a good Orochi character, and that's the thing, there's not a lot of good Orochi characters in the game. But his support effect is really good. Like, you only really need to pick up one copy of this unit. You don't need to completely rainbow him out or anything. But his support effect attaches to Orochi, and anytime you're inflicted with Bind, Despair, and I think maybe Paralysis, you just remove one turn of it. And there could be some situations where that is good. That's why I'm saying it's niche. This Kaido is terrible. This Strength Kaido, he has like Final Tap, and he's got Super Type for a free-to-play unit, but he's bad. He's just not very good. I think Sasaki is a little niche. Katakuri, I think, is a good pickup. He actually might be worthwhile, to be honest. He actually does a lot. He removes Paralysis, removes Defense up. I think he actually locks your slots as well. Like, Katakuri is a really good utility unit. Very, very nice unit. This free-to-play Odin, I would say, is a niche pickup. This, I believe, is the free-to-play unit that super evolves into a 5+ unit, and this unit has a really cool special to remove 3 turns of barriers. Now, there are not a lot of characters in the game that can remove 3 turns of barrier, so he's actually got a niche special, but there aren't too many situations where you need that kind of special to remove 3 turns of a barrier, and there's probably some other units you'd rather use over him on your team. Just, it is dependent. Killer's very good though. He has a really cool special. He's mono driven focused, but if you have a full team of driven, you get a color affinity boost, and you remove like a bunch of turns of Rainbow Shield and a good support that attaches to Kid. So very, very nice pickup. I think this Drake is actually really good too. I've used him a few times. He's got a really unique special, removing burn. He removes chain reduction. He does beneficial orb enable. He also does resistance down. Like, he's got a lot of stuff going on. This Toki, I'd say, is niche. She removes 5 turns of attack down and then does like an attack boost and a color affinity or something like that, but it is dependent on having a Wano slot. It is team dependent, but she's okay. I think Uta is a must purchase. I think she's great. She has a great double special launch, removing attack down, bind, despair, conditional boost, chain boost. She's like amazing. They're really good free-to-play Uta, this one. And this Uta does super evolve as well, so you do need to pick up this unit and her skulls through, I think maybe the Kizuna has her skulls, but yeah, you need to get her done. The Luffy and Newgate unit, I'd say it's niche. This unit is a very, very odd unit, but the really cool thing about them is they provide 3 turns of an attack boost and an orb boost. And there have been times where I've used it to avoid the enemy giving me bad versions of attack and orb boost to kind of get around that. The biggest, recipient of that would be the Arena versus Luffy. Very good to use this unit on that content to avoid the really low 1.1 attack and orb boost that's given to you. But this unit isn't very good on paper. This Dofi is also kind of niche. He does, he works really well if you have core and law. You can really abuse his special in those scenarios. Or if you're able to give you a full board of Rainbow or a full board of Wano and then use this character special, you can really abuse this character because he actually does a lot of good utility, but it's just his orb changing stuff is not very beneficial to your squad a lot of the time. This blue Kaido is also kind of niche. He does some special bind removal stuff, which is kind of cool. We have this Ulti, who is also kind of niche. She has an okay special. I haven't used her too much, basically, since her release, though. Law and Kid. Law and Kid is a must purchase. This unit is so freaking strong. It just does so much. It does damage, 3-turn chain boundary, it does end of turn damage. It just does a lot. And the fact that it's Law and Kid, you get access to a couple of good supports that can attach to this unit too. Good classes as well, being Cerebral and Striker. This unit is fan-freaking-tastic. One of the best free-to-play units we've had, to be honest. Such a good unit. This Black Maria is worthwhile too. She does a lot. She gets rid of Special Bind, she gets rid of Rainbow Shield. I think she's also a color affinity booster, I want to say. She's pretty good. I've used her a couple of times. Very, very nice unit to have. Then we have this recent Odin that came out this year. Honestly, I think this unit is bad. I've never found a situation where this Odin has been super useful. I believe also in his point event that he came out for, he just wasn't very good for it either. He's just not that good. We have this Yamato. I think this Yamato is a good pickup. Yamato obviously receiving a lot of recent support because she's one of the big characters in the series right now, and her special's like kind of okay. The unfortunate thing about this unit is that her utility is only for 3 turns. Like if this unit was like a 5-turn utility, this unit would be godly. You know, some of these units actually get like amazing utility, and sometimes they don't give them a utility. It is a pain, but Yamato has a pretty good set of skills, to be honest. Next we have the numbers. Numbers are okay. I'd say they're niche, to be honest, because there's not too many situations where their special is going to be super good. They do remove, I think it's Despair and Paralysis, and they also have Chain Boost, and yeah, they got a weird set of gimmicks, to be honest. And you know, this unit doesn't really have any support characters that attaches to them, unfortunately. The last character is the new Jinbei that we recently received, and I do think he is a worthwhile pickup, especially when you get him to level limit break 5. His special is actually very good, and he has the uniqueness effect of removing Shipbind, and there really aren't a lot of ways to remove Shipbind on your team. But as it stands, I actually feel pretty comfortable with how this is ranked. Like, these characters at the top, these are the units that see the most play out of this list, to be honest. To be honest, Lauren Kidd see a bit more play than Uta these days. When Uta first came out, she saw play like for the entire like 2 or 3 month span. But then Lauren Kidd's been super good. Ambush Linlin, a very consistent unit for a very long time, and I think this new Luffy is very much worth picking up. These units in tier 2 are characters that see a lot of play. They just got fantastic utility. These are also some fantastic units here in the good pickups. I do feel like these units in the tier above will just see a bit more play compared to the units in the tier below. And then these are some units that will see some play here and there, but it's very niche scenarios. And then you got the units down the bottom, which basically no one ever uses these units, you know, to be honest. But anyways, that is going to wrap it up from me. Thank you so much for watching the video. Hopefully this helps you guys out in determining which characters you want to pick up first from the brand new Pirate King Adventures game mode exchange, and good luck. And I'm really very much excited to jump into the new game mode. I'm excited to jump into it and see what it's all about. And of course, when the new game mode does come out, inevitably, and over the months, you know, when they progress, there is going to be more free-to-play units that get added to the shop, including the new Goldie Roger that's going to be available from the first season of Pirate King Adventures. Currently, we don't know what he does. I'm expecting him to be pretty good. We'll have to wait and see. Hopefully you enjoyed this video though, and if you guys did, make sure to go ahead and leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. On that, guys, I will see you guys within the next video.